We have Griffen Palmer on Pure Country. How are you?
Good, Shannon. How are you?
I'm good. A lot has happened since the last time I actually got to sit down and talk to you in person, which felt super normal and awesome. But we
Mhm.
are in two different places right now and celebrating your new EP, Unlearn, being out. I think when I talked to you last time, I said, have you had a chance to like soak in all the crazy things that have happened? But how are you soaking in the fact that you actually have a huge body of work out now?
Yeah, it's really cool. It's something I've been working towards for a really long time and dreaming about for a really long time. So to have it out in the world is just the best feeling. And I'm so glad everyone can hear all the songs that we've been working towards for the past couple of years.
I know it's crazy. Like a lot of people are learning about you for the first time and not knowing that this didn't just start now. Like you've been working at this and been in Nashville and been, I've seen you play songwriters rounds because you've been really honing in on your songwriting craft. But you've been working at this for a while. So it's got to feel like a big kind of like weight off your shoulders of all the years and time you've spent and it's finally coming to fruition.
Yeah, I think especially in the music industry, it can really seem like some people just appear overnight, but
Yes.
all this stuff takes time and takes a lot of hard work. And so yeah, this is just like the actual embodiment or the physical or audio representation of all the hard work. But yeah, I've had to live every second of these songs from the writing to the producing to now finally getting to play them on the road. So it's fun to just share this next chapter with everybody.
And just from listening to the songs, and I can like hear and knowing the type of songwriter you are, that like you're writing a lot from experience. You've not just lived them through the writing process and the producing and the, performing. You've like actually lived these stories that you're writing about. And a lot of them, like you can really hear personal touches that you've put in there. But I have to ask because we've never had a chance to talk about this. Geoff Warburton, who is
Mhm.
also from Pickering, Ontario. Is that correct?
Yeah, same exact hometown, just
That you
by
wrote literally
happenstance.
every single song on this EP with. Did you guys
Mhm.
know each other when you were in Pickering, or did you come together with the music industry?
So the whole time growing up, we never ever met each other. And then I had just graduated from college in Bowling Green, Ohio, and I was just kind of trying to figure out my next steps. And I went to a house party of a guy who played on the same rugby team as me, who I didn't even know very well. And
And
at that party, I met
this party was in
in
Pickering.
Pickering.
Okay.
Yeah, and I had met Jeff's fiance, Samantha, and she was just kind of asking me what I was doing, and I said, I'm working at this Tex-Mex restaurant, and I'm trying to be a songwriter and just figuring out what to do. And she just happened to say, "Oh, well, my boyfriend's a songwriter. Like you should talk to him." And just from that day on, we just started writing. And yeah, it's just crazy to think of maybe if I didn't go to that party that one day or whatever, I wouldn't be here. And but yeah, Jeff, we didn't even set out to like write every song together for this record. We just become really great friends and write all the time. And these are just the songs that made sense. So it's really fun to have wins with someone like that.
So cool. And like for anyone who doesn't know, because I am obviously I love the songwriting process and I do a show every weekend on Pure Country called New and Now, where we have like a writers room. And Geoff is one of the writers I've featured before because I want to like introduce people more to the writers. But like Geoff is an insane talent as far as songwriting goes, and
Yes.
it's cool. I feel like your vibes really work so well together. And this EP, I mean, if you were to introduce yourself to the world with any body of work, I feel like this one is just like one of the best projects I've heard from a new artist because
Oh my gosh, thank you.
it's got like every song that you would want to hear from someone on with 10 songs. Like you take us through literally, I feel like I listened to every stage of my life from like adolescence to adulthood in your record.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was trying to do. I feel like the place where I was writing from was just coming out of, just finishing up college, and which is such a, transformative part of being a young person. There's so many firsts you go through and so much you learn about yourself. And so I really just wanted to touch on all of that. And I thought that we did a good job covering all the bases, but it's really nice to hear you say that and that you relate to the same thing. That's cool.
Yeah, like took me, it was so weird. Like took me back to like heartbreaks I felt and I was like feeling emotional about it. And I'm like, wait, I'm not there anymore. But like songs that I wish I had have had when I was like 21 and going through this like crazy spiraling heartbreak, thinking my life was over and like just songs like that.
Mhm.
And then hearing a song like Late to the Party and even Unlearn, like I can't even imagine what that song was like to go in and actually record, because I'm sure it's a very personal song to you. Um, but my husband and I talk about that all the time. Like, we didn't grow up with the type of relationship that we have, as an example. And so for me, it was really hard to be like, this is what it's supposed to be like? Are we sure? Like, is
Mhm.
that how it's supposed to be? Like, he's supposed to send you flowers and show up at your door? Like, oh, okay. So is
Mhm.
that from personal experience of what you now have in your relationship?
Yeah, I mean, like my parents were divorced, and me and my siblings were kind of bouncing around between mom and dad's house all the time, and introducing each other, or they were introducing us to different relationships they were having, and it's just all very confusing when you're too young to understand. And so now that we're kind of older and going through it ourselves, we talk about it all the time, where we're just kind of relearning or unlearning some of the things we picked up. And it's just funny now too, because like our families come so far from the place I'm writing about in that song, but it still sticks with you. And I think I was really scared to release this song. Not scared, but I was a bit anxious because I just felt like it was a lot, and maybe some people didn't feel the same way I did. But just through showing it to people, and people hearing it and messaging me and saying they relate to it, I feel like it was a really good decision. And it's like you just said, it's a song I wish I had when I was younger. And so if I could do that for someone else, I think that that's the whole goal, right?
For sure. And even though I didn't have it when I was young and you didn't have it when you were young, there's someone out there, and probably many people out there, that need to hear it at like the age they're at now and go, okay, so I wasn't crazy for feeling like maybe that
Hmm.
wasn't the norm, and it's okay to want to change or something like that. What is your family's take on the song, and what was it like to let them hear it?
I've kind of got a mixed bag from everybody.
Okay.
Everyone really loves it now, and they're really proud of me for really putting it out there. But I remember sharing it with my sisters for the first time, and they were all crying, and they were just really happy. More so of like where we've gotten to,
Yeah.
where we are now, like to be in such a good place looking back. And yeah, it's fun when you can be proud of yourselves as a family for making it through something hard.
Yeah, yeah, you probably picked a better time to release it now than maybe like 10 years ago, when everyone would have been
Yeah,
like, what are you talking about?
the dust has settled a bit, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good time.
But like, that's what is so cool about music and songwriting, and you being a singer songwriter, is that some people don't really realize when an artist is on stage singing these songs, they're like, oh, this is a song I relate to. But you are literally, it's a diary entry of your life, and that is
Hmm.
really special and needs to like have a light shined on it.
Yeah, that's been a cool aspect of releasing this music as an artist for the first time, and not as just a songwriter writing for someone else. It's just opened this whole different world of what I can sing about and what I should sing about. And yeah, it's kind of fun for me to just make this music on a more personal note and just put out a little piece of me.
What's it been like? Because you're doing so many things for the first time. Now you've been out across the US and playing all these songs for real fans that are getting to be introduced to you for the first time. What's that experience been like? Because that's got to be mind blowing to like actually get to watch firsthand people reacting to the music.
Yeah, it's really cool, especially because when I started out, I was playing like bar cover sets for hours and hours on end.
Yeah.
And so now they've gone from 4 hour shows singing other people's music to 30-minute shows singing all my own songs. So it's been quite the transformation. And especially just showing up to all these cities I've never been to and seeing these people in the front row singing some of these songs. Um, yeah, it's just really cool. It's like exactly what you'd hope it would be like. And
That's awesome.
obviously going out with Lily, like her crew's so awesome, and they make it such a good time. And yeah, I'm just having a blast out there.
So cool. I feel like as soon as that tour is over, the bug will have been caught, and you're like, okay, when do I get to do this every weekend?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, out of the songs, it was hard for me because Unlearn, I feel like, is just so special. So it has like a special place in my as my favorite. But what is one of your favorite songs on there that maybe you are most excited to hear feedback from fans on?
Um, I'm really curious to see what people think of Bottles on the Table. I
Okay.
feel like sonically, it's like a lot of the music I was listening to when I was growing up from my dad, a lot of like 80s rock. Like, I think when I hear that song, I think it has like a like the Police vibe, sort of,
It
you know, like
totally does.
with the
I
guitar
actually
bits.
like
And
was trying to figure that out. I'm like, I feel like I can hear something in this song. That's so you grew up listening to the Police.
yeah, the Police and like Def Leppard and all those like 80s rock bands, Journey. That was kind of what was playing in the car when I was a kid. So yeah, I feel like sonically stuff just sticks with you from those formative years. And so it's fun for us, Joey and I, to kind of play with some of those sounds and put it in that song. Another song I'm really excited about right now, just because it was like the latest addition to the record and maybe the newest for me, is Came Here to Leave. And that one kind of reminds me of like a Coldplay vibe. um yeah, it's just fun to like introduce these different sonic elements into this country record. You know, I feel like it makes for a really interesting sound. So those are like the freshest sonically speaking sounds of the record, and I'm really curious to see what people think of that.
Yeah, it was hard. I got to be honest, but the one that I've listened to on repeat the most, and I feel like it's the summer song that I want to like listen to in the car, is Late to the Party. It is like just such a like feel good jam for sure. And I'm assuming it's a very personal song to you and the relationship you're in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that whole idea or the core of that song really took place when I went to college for the first time, and I was meeting all these people that I just became like fast friends with. And I'm like, I can't believe you've lived a whole other life, and for me in a different country with all these different stuff, and you were just living at the same time as me, and we just never met before. And I feel like that song does a good job of explaining that relationship, obviously through the lens of meeting a love interest or
Yeah,
a girl or whatever. But
very
yeah, that's just like
universal.
a very mind-blowing thing to realize for the first time when you meet all these people that
Yeah.
have lived a completely different life from you this whole time.
So cool. All right, before we go, because I feel like we could dissect every song on this EP because I
We
just
could.
think it is so incredible. I want to ask you if you were to pick a song or an artist. Let's go with a song that you are loving right now, that you've been listening to a lot, and you think people should hear. What song would that be?
Okay. Um, oh man, I've been listening to this chill playlist. Can I pull it up? Can I tell you what my
Yeah.
favorite is on the playlist?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you. We're gonna let you be the DJ this weekend on my New and Now show, so you can actually. We're gonna play a song, whatever it is.
Actually, okay, you know what I've really been liking?
Okay.
And he's Canadian, but it's on the new Virginia to Vegas record.
Oh,
Okay. And it's called Outer Space. And I've been talking about it with everybody because it's not like all my friends and stuff, they're like, this is not the song you'd usually pick. But I just think it's so like well crafted, and the production's amazing, and Derek sounds awesome. So yeah, go check that out on the new Virginia Vegas record.
okay. All right. Sounds good. And maybe a Virginia to Vegas Griffen Palmer collab at some point could be kind of cool.
That'd be rad. I'm down.
Mackenzie's done it. You could make
Hmm.
it happen. All right. So everyone go check out Griffen Palmer's new EP, Unlearn. It is incredible, and listen to every single song on repeat. Thank you so much for hanging out with us on Pure Country.
Thank you for having me.